Good afternoon, namaste सबैजनालाई. I think we can get started. मान्छे अब आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ. We can move along with the event, I guess. So once again, welcome everyone. This is Rajat Acharya from Agile Solutions Private Limited. Thank you once again for your valuable time and for joining us in our second webinar of this business intelligence webinar series. यो इभेन्टको अर्गनाइजर अजाइल रहेको छ भने को अर्गनाइजर चाहिँ इनसाइट सफ्टवेयर रहेको छ. इनसाइट सफ्टवेयर चाहिँ जेट रिपोर्ट्स एन्ड जेट एनालिटिक्स जस्ता रिपोर्टिङ एन्ड बिजनेस इन्टेलिजेन्स सोल्युसन्सको ग्लोबल प्रोभाइडर पनि हो भने अजाइलले चाहिँ इनसाइट सफ्टवेयरको पार्टनर कम्पनीको नाताले नेपालमा जेटको सोल्युसन्सहरू चाहिँ इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्दै आएको छ. र यस्तै टेक्नोलोजी प्रोडक्टिभिटी र डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसन फोकस्ड इभेन्ट्सहरू चाहिँ हामीले अर्गनाइज गर्ने क्रममा लास्ट विक जेट एनालिटिक्स एन्ड जेट रिपोर्ट्स युज गरेर अर्गनाइजेसन्समा रिपोर्टिङलाई कसरी एफिसिएन्ट बनाउन सकिन्छ भन्ने टपिकमा हामीले फर्स्ट वेबिनार लिएर आएका थियौँ. र आजको इभेन्ट चाहिँ इट इज द कन्टिन्युएसन अफ द फर्स्ट सेसन वेयर वी विल बी डिस्कसिङ इन डेप्थ अबाउट दिज रिपोर्टिङ सोल्युसन्स. र स्पेसली आजको सेसनमा चाहिँ हामी जेटको सोल्युसन सँगसँगै पावर बीआईको रोल चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ, पावर बीआईको केपेबिलिटिजहरू के कस्तो रहेको छ, यो प्लेटफर्मलाई जेट एनालिटिक्स र जेट रिपोर्टसँग युज गरेर रिपोर्टिङको प्रोसेस र रिपोर्टिङको स्ट्रक्चरहरू चाहिँ कसरी इम्प्रुभ गर्न सकिन्छ र यसको युज केसेसहरू हैन, यसको प्रोसेसहरू के कस्तो छ, यसको आर्किटेक्चरहरू, यी सबै कुराहरू चाहिँ हामीले एक्सप्लोर गर्नेछौँ. सो फर्स्ट हाम्रो सेसन 1 चाहिँ लास्ट विक कम्प्लिट भइसकेको छ. त्यसको रेकर्डिङ पनि हामीले यहाँहरूलाई मेल गरिसकेका छौँ. अब हामी इभेन्टतिर बिस्तारै अघि बढ्छौँ. र त्योभन्दा अघि चाहिँ लास्ट विक हाम्रो वेबिनार अनएक्सपेक्टेडली टेक्निकल इस्युज आएकोले इभेन्ट क्युएनए भन्दा अगाडि नै एन्ड हुन पुग्यो र रिज्युम गर्न पछि पोसिबल भएन. सो त्यसको लागि वी आर भेरी सरी फर द इन्कन्भिनियन्सेस कस्ट. अस्तिको इभेन्टको रेकर्डिङ हामीले यहाँहरूलाई मेल गरिसकेका छौँ भने आजको रेकर्डिङ पनि वी विल बी मेकिङ इट अभाइलेबल टु यु. अस्ति अडियन्सबाट क्वेसन्सहरू पनि रेज गर्नुभएको थियो कतिले, जुन चाहिँ टेक्निकल इस्युजले गर्दा हामीले एड्रेस गर्न पाएनौँ, तर हामीसँग क्वेसन्स चाहिँ इन्ट्याक्ट नै छ. सो हामी वी विल बी कमिङ ब्याक टु दोज क्वेसन्स टुवर्ड्स द एन्ड अफ दिस सेसन. र इभेन्टको ड्युरेसनभरि सबैको माइक म्युट हुने भएकोले यदि केही क्वेरिज or questions छ भने you can simply write them down in the chat box. We will be responding to those during the Q&A. You can also use the hand raise option भन्ने छ त्यहाँ GoToWebinar को तपाईको साइटको प्यानलमा, त्यो युज गरेर पनि यहाँले क्वेसन्सहरू चाहिँ यदि ह्यान्ड रेज गर्नुभयो भने हामीले माइक अनम्युट गरेर पनि क्वेसन चाहिँ सोध्न सकिन्छ है. सो अब आजको Q&A सेसन चाहिँ अरू बेला भन्दा थोरै एक्सटेन्ड गर्नु पनि हुन सक्छ. सो त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ मैले धेरै समय नलिकन सेसनलाई अगाडि बढाउँछु है. सो आजको हाम्रो स्पिकरसँग लास्ट विक पार्टिसिपेन्ट्सहरू अलरेडी फेमिलियर हुन्छ. जो नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूको लागि चाहिँ मिशेल इज द जनरल म्यानेजर एट डायनामिक BI एसिया, which is a part of Insight Software and based out of Singapore. So she will be guiding you through today's session as well, just like last time. And Michelle will be introducing Insight Software and its services. त्यसपछि जेट रिपोर्ट्स, जेट एनालिटिक्स र जेट र पावर BI को चाहिँ रिलेसनशिप कस्तो हुन्छ भन्ने विषयमा पनि लाइभ डेमोको थ्रुबाट यसको प्रोसेस, यसको युजेबिलिटीहरू मैले अघि भनिहालेँ, यसको सोल्युसनको आर्किटेक्चरहरू हैन, यो सबैको बारेमा चाहिँ हामीले इन डेप्थ एउटा डिस्कसन चाहिँ गर्नेछौँ. सो यो इभेन्टको आजको मेन एजेन्डा चाहिँ यिनीहरू नै भयो. सो हामीले हाम्रो फर्स्ट सेसनमा जसले जोइन गर्नुभयो, आई होप यु वाच्ड द रेकर्डिङ द्याट वी शेयर्ड विथ यु. यदि छैन भने अरू अडियन्समा यदि कोही नयाँ हुन्छ भने पनि जस्ट अ क्विक रिक्याप दिनु पर्दाखेरि हाम्रो लास्ट इभेन्ट चाहिँ हामीले के डिस्कसन गऱ्यौँ त भन्दा हाम्रो फर्स्ट वेबिनारमा चाहिँ जेट रिपोर्ट्स र जेट एनालिटिक्सको चाहिँ हामीले चर्चा गऱ्यौँ. जुन चाहिँ अब जेट भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो इनसाइट सफ्टवेयर र अजाइलले प्रोभाइड गर्ने रिपोर्टिङ अथवा बिजनेस इन्टेलिजेन्स सोल्युसनहरूको चाहिँ एउटा प्याकेज हो हैन. यो चाहिँ हामीले जेट रिपोर्ट्सको जस्तै कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एज यु नो रिपोर्टिङ एउटा फ्लेक्सिबल एउटा कस्टमाइजेबल रिपोर्टिङ सोल्युसन हो, जुन चाहिँ इट वर्क्स राइट विदिन यु एक्सेल हैन. एमएस एक्सेलमा एज अ एड अन चाहिँ यसलाई इन्स्टल गर्न मिल्छ र यसले चाहिँ एउटा भनौँ न रियल टाइम रिपोर्टिङ सोल्युसन जसले चाहिँ अब म्यानुअली युज डेटाहरू प्रोसेस गर्ने च्यालेन्जेसलाई एलिमिनेट गर्छ भन्ने कुरा भयो हैन. त्यस्तै अब म्यानुअल प्रोसेसेसहरू यदि कपी पेस्ट गरिरहनु भएको छ, डेटा रिकन्सिलिएसनको कुराहरू हैन, सो त्यस्तो कुराहरू सबैलाई चाहिँ एउटा अटोमेट गरेर मच मोर एफिसिएन्ट, मच मोर फास्टर र मच मोर प्रोडक्टिभ बनाउने काम चाहिँ गर्छ यो टुलले हैन. त्यस्तै हामीले अर्को जुन हाम्रो जेट एनालिटिक्स टुल छ, जेट एनालिटिक्स भनेको एउटा कर्पोरेट BI र एनालिटिक्स प्लेटफर्म भन्ने कुरा भएको थियो हैन, जसले चाहिँ एउटा हाम्रो ETL को प्रोसेसहरू हैन, त्यस्तै अब क्युब डिजाइनको प्रोसेसहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा सिम्प्लिफाई गर्ने त सँगै छ, एट द सेम टाइम अटोमेट पनि गरिदिन्छ भने यो आफैमा पनि एउटा इजिली ड्र्याग एन्ड ड्रप गरेर कस्टमाइज गर्न सकिने, बिल्ड गर्न सकिने प्लेटफर्म भएको कारणले चाहिँ यो प्रोसेसबाट चाहिँ अब ड्यासबोर्ड्स हैन, त्यसपछि भिजुअलाइजेसनको कुराहरू यो चाहिँ इजिली क्रिएट गर्न र म्यानेजमेन्टलाई स्पेशली अब म्यानेजमेन्ट सिनियर म्यानेजमेन्टलाई रिपोर्ट गर्दाखेरि हैन एउटा अर्गनाइजेसनल क्रस अर्गनाइजेसनल भ्यू भनौँ न, डिपार्टमेन्टल भ्यू, कता प्रोसेसेसहरू अपरेसन्सहरू के कस्तो भइरहेछ त्यो सबै कुराको एउटा कम्प्लिट एन्ड टु एन्ड भिजिबिलिटीको लागि जुन हामीलाई एउटा इन्टरेक्टिभ भिजुअल रिपोर्टहरू चाहिन्छ, त्यो कुरा चाहिँ हामीले इजिली इदर युजिङ एक्सेल अर युजिङ पावर बिआई चाहिँ हामीले इजिली कस्टमाइज कन्फिगर गर्न सक्छौँ भन्ने कुरा गरेका थियौँ। र यो दुइटै चाहिँ हाम्रो लास्ट विकको डिस्कसन थियो भने अब आज चाहिँ जेट रिपोर्ट्स र जेट एनालिटिक्स त छँदैछ, तर त्यो सँगसँगै हाम्रो पावर बिआई जसलाई चाहिँ जो चाहिँ माइक्रोसफ्टको एउटा डेटा भिजुअलाइजेसनको टुल छ, यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी यो दुईटा सोल्युसनसँग चाहिँ अलाइन हुन्छ र त्यसको बेनिफिट्स चाहिँ के कस्तो छ भन्ने बारेमा Michelle, who is the speaker for today, will be taking you through her presentation, and then the actual demo. We will look into the design process, especially multiple sources of data consolidate कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ है, त्यस्तै अब रिपोर्टिङ लाई अझै अटोमेट कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ, अझै एफिसिएन्ट कसरी बनाउन सकिन्छ भने एट द सेम टाइम जुन अर्गनाइजेसनको एउटा रिक्वायरमेन्ट हुन्छ, सिनियर म्यानेजमेन्टको पनि रिक्वायरमेन्ट हुन्छ, एउटा इन्टरेक्टिभ खालको ड्यासबोर्ड्सहरू, रिपोर्ट्सहरू हैन कसरी क्रिएट गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तै यस्ता टपिकहरुमा चाहिँ आज we will be making these as the key points of discussion for today's event. Okay? So I won't be taking much of your time. Michelle, I think you can jump in and take over to start the session off with your presentation. Meanwhile, I will hand over the mic and the screen to you. Michelle, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Let me just show my screen here as well. I believe you'll be able to see my screen now, right, Rajat?
Yes, yeah, it's visible.
Okay, good. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So it's my pleasure again to be here and appreciate that you all set your valuable time this week as well to join our second series of this webinar. So Rajat has introduced about me earlier. Michelle, I'm basically based in Singapore and joined Jet part of Insight Software for 13 years covering the Asia region. So once again, it has been a really great journey for me, and I'm so grateful to work closely with our value partners and customers. Without further ado, today I will do a short introductions about our company, share about the most popular topic, which is the positioning of Jet and Power BI, followed by a deep dive live demo. I'd like to do a demo on how easy to consolidate data across multi-data source and present the data in a single dashboard. Lastly, we wrap up with the next step and open up for questions. Just a gentle reminder to drop your questions on the chat box, and we will follow up at the end of this webinar. So as I can see some new audience here, I would like to recap and introduce Insight Software. We have grown significantly over the years with some acquisition, including Jet in place as well. We are the best at extracting transactional level data from ERP system, CRM, and presenting it in a model that users are comfortable with, such as Excel or web-based, even on Microsoft technology. So now at Insight Software, we provide the Agile solutions every organization needs to access your granular data and help you to deliver what business require, which is critical data analysis, to really accelerate your decision making, to predict revenue growth, and most importantly, to develop meaningful, actionable insights that are essential to business success. We do it better than anyone in the world. Now, in Insight Software, our solutions are aligned to 3 components for the Office of Finance, Operation, IT team to unlock data, automate process. From capital management, controllership, and finance planning and analysis. Remember that each step tackle on the biggest challenges and drive positive outcome. This series, we will cover the essential need of all business, which is reporting and business intelligence solutions from Jet. Any immediate need on other stack of solution, as you can see on the screen, please reach out to us, and we are delighted to arrange a discovery call prior to arrange a pre-sale sections. Let's start by talking about what is Power BI. Now, before that, we have these poll questions on how much do you know about Power BI. Okay, we appreciate that you can select the best fit. There's no right or wrong, just the best fit for you or your current organization. I heard a lot of people talking about Power BI. So what is Power BI? Power BI is a Microsoft product, cloud-based. It provides interactive visualizations for individual or team user to access dashboard. It connects to many data sources, almost any data source you wanted to extract data. One of the biggest extraction is that Power BI can known as free using the desktop edition or licensing at 10 per user per month. So what is the 5 misconceptions about Power BI? First, Power BI works on its own. You don't need anything else. A content pack is all you need to get up and running. I would probably agree with this statement only if you have very simple reporting and BI needs with a decent size of data. But most of us are running in a competitive business and we often need to analyze across huge data, across multiple modules. In this case, obviously, Power BI doesn't sound as easy as it is when your requirements get more complex. The standard Pro license will have limitation on individual data set and storage. The data modeling is easy to maintain. The data modeling is not easy to maintain. Can Power BI really do financial statement? Financial report often present in spreadsheet and you can't really have Power BI to present financial report in spreadsheet. Excel is the spreadsheet platform and Jet report in this case shine up inside Excel. Finance user can easily design your cash flow report in Excel in the formatting you want with any Excel formula. Now, creating calculation is not that easy in Power BI. You need to know DAX query and it is not as easy or quick. They are what most partner consultants and some end user feedback to me during my pre-sales. Now, let me emphasize here that we are not competitor. We do not compete or replace with each other. Jet has always and will still extend on Microsoft Framework technology. Therefore, what is our positioning? Well, Jet Report is still going to be the default reporting solution we ever publish on white paper and the positioning of Jet Reports and Power BI that is available on our blog. Bigger reason to deploy Jet Analytics if you like Power BI. Jet Analytics will empower you to rapidly deploy Power BI. That is a wow factor. Why are companies looking for an easy way to access and organize their data? 1. To make fast and right decisions. 2. To reduce cost and complexity. And 3. Find increased revenue opportunities, right? So some pointers to deploy Jet with Power BI. Again, Power BI is a great visualization tool, stunning interface, but it could be a gap in finding, consolidating data to perform out the desired dashboards. Note that designer in Power BI need to know how to write data schema. Queries of large data is quite slow due to the latency. We are not just providing a tools or platform, but providing solutions and know-how in any new platform or device. Jet Analytics complement with Power BI. Our solution is designed for users. Jet Analytics aggregates data in the data warehouse based on your selections of data and pre-calculate the business measurements in Cube to provide accuracy, speed, and control. Not to forget that Jet Analytics comes with Jet Reports Edition that provide the real-time reporting tools that are embedded inside Excel. Keep in mind that dashboard alone aren't enough for any company, and you would be hard-pressed to create a financial statement or any sort of tabular report that didn't rely primarily on graphics. That is where the value of Jet Reports come in to put both reports and analytics in the client's hand. You can refresh your report in real time. In summary, I would say that using Jet to query the data and use Power BI visualization to query data from Jet Data Warehouse or Cube with little to no knowledge of ERP tables and fields. Here is one of the case study. Innovenix is the industry leader in wireless sensor network for commercials and life safety application. With a number of non-technical users across the organization, they face challenges to setting up data model to use Power BI. By connecting Power BI with Jet Analytics, they was able to save time and valuable resources. A nice quote from the controller, and now all staff can easily create dashboard in 2 minutes. Let me talk about the foundation concept on what is Power BI. Why is it important? So business intelligence is a combination of people, process, technology that can add value to increase productivity. Over here, on the left side is your raw database. All databases are organized in a transactional standpoint, but not organized in a way for analyzing or reporting purpose. Here is the issues that you are facing when accessing directly to your ERP or reporting. So what we do in Jet Analytics is we take the relevant data into a data warehouse, we organize the data into relevant subject, and this is a big key. So your users in seeing finance, sales, purchase, inventory, data that are organized. For example, when we look at sales document, you should be seeing invoices as well as credit notes without going to understand the need to pull and combine from 10 to 15 tables. We then push it into the cube to make it easier for your users. Dimensions and measurements like, year-over-year sales, profit percentage to group by customer, product, cost center, and many more will be listed ready on the cube for your use. So like someone like a salesperson can easily access to sales cube and look into sales data that is much easier for users to understand. Well, building up a data warehouse can spend at least 1 month to even a year, but not for us. We have a predefined data warehouse and OLAP cubes ready for your use. You make data-driven decisions faster instead of spending countless hours to design the report. We extend Microsoft Framework to build a ready-to-use solution. Allow your business user to choose the platform you want to access, whether in Excel, online, or in Power BI platform. Now, let me pause here and go to a live demo to show you the difference. So here you can see my screen opening up Power BI using Power BI desktop for demo purpose. Now let's give a scenario if you are just using Power BI alone, accessing to your ERP or CRM database. How do you get started? First thing first, you will click on this Get Data to call up the list of data source for you to access. Here you can see a list of variety connections, and now you need to select the database, which in this case will be your SQL Server database. In this case, just insert your server name. In my case, for demo purpose, is a local server. And the next thing you will see is that Power BI will show you a list of all the database on your server. In my case, you can see a list of multiple databases, same as yours. So if I expand one of the database for demo purpose, you can see here, it expands to the list of table which stores in your ERP database. Now notice that you are connecting to the transactional database. Here you see all the tables uniquely tagged to each company, as you can see from here. Now you need to know which table to choose. For example, I do a quick search. So for example, if I look at customers or sales dashboard, so you can see here where you have multiple customer related tables. You really need to know which are the exact one to pull. Now to keep it simple, I will just select customer and cost ledger entry. So you also notice that if you have multiple companies, keep in mind that all tables are stored uniquely in individual companies. So in this case, I would like to just select and focus on one company where I selected customer from UK and customer ledger entry from UK only. So let me just load the data. Note that the step that I did earlier, you really need to know the exact table name and data structure. Now data from two tables are loaded. So you are not set yet in this case because it's just loading the data from the database. So if I go here, here is an additional step that you need to manage the relationship for both tables. In this case, I'll just go in and you will need to know which are the relationship here. So let me just go to, in this case, which is a bit simple that I pull out where I know my customer, tag to my customer number. Okay, so I'm showing an example here of two tables. Keep in mind that most of the time you need to combine or link the relationship from one to many, many to many, from at least 5 to 10 tables to provide you a desirable dashboard. So once you manage the relationship, you can begin to start creating your dashboard with the available fields that you see in your ERP. Oftentimes, there could be a lot of additional fields that is not necessary will be presented here because all these are basically the original fields that stores in the ERP table. So if there is any calculation measure, keep in mind that you still need to write new measurements. So for example, if you would like to pull out your profit percentage that is not captured in your ERP itself, here is where a next step you will need to create the measurements. So I will say this is a tool for this is definitely not a tool for someone like you as a finance user, business professional, sales or purchasers to use. Now, if I switch over to a new Power BI screen again, and let me give a scenario that currently I'm a user and I connect to a widget with Power BI to show you the wow factor. So this time round, when I go in and get data access, all I need to do is to get access. And this time round, I'll just need to connect to my cube, which stores in my analysis services. So I'll just connect to it and I'll click OK. So here for demo purpose, just for myself, for demo purpose, I have stored a few projects. But in your case, you should be able to see your individual project that bring meaningful cube for your from your business. It can be segregated into finance cube, inventory cube, manufacturing cube, payable cube, purchase, receivable cube, and sales cube. Also keep in mind that all business are unique. Certainly, it empower you to modify the existing cube or to build new cube. In this case, as you can see on my demo machine, which I have a sales by brand POC cube. So I'm going into my standard sales cube and I click OK. Realize the step now is much simpler in a sense like I don't have to understand which table that I will need to pull the information from. I do not have to manage relationship because all that has been taken care for me sweet and nice by Jack Analytics. Now, what I really do is really the value of Power BI where I can start designing the dashboard that I want. So let me quickly put in my title of my dashboard. So I would like to make it a slightly bigger and I like to bold it. Okay. This is where I'm, as a business user, really start designing the dashboard that I want. So today itself, I might, and you can see from here, let me just minimize this. So you can see from here, these are all the predefined fields that are captured in my sales cube. So when I say sales cube, I can expand and see these are all the measurements that I have previewed. So at the start here, I have all this information ready for me to analyze my, to create my dashboard. I do not need to map the tables that I want. Now let me start designing my dashboard by pulling my sales amount. Okay, so I can move it around and I can still carry on to design my dashboard that I want. So in this case, I can go in and create another chart here to pull out my sales amount, my cost, my profit percentage. So you can see from here, immediately in one tab itself, I can see my cost, my sales, my profit percentage. I can go further to break down by period, which is my date. Immediately, it shows it to me in a very nice chart, as you can see here. So not only that, I can carry on to design my dashboard again. And this time round, just wanted to share with you, as I mentioned earlier many times already, that Jet out of the box consolidate data across multiple companies for me. So when you, in the event that you have multiple companies, all data are captured in separate tables or database. Jet easily allows you to pull and map the data that you want. So Power BI is strong in visualization. It's actually very simple and easy for you to immediately start designing the report that you want. The thing that the gap or the bridge that actually map each other is that Jet comes with Cube that empower you to quickly and easily design this sort of dashboard that you are looking on my screen here. So honestly, I can go on and on to design the report if you want to, but ultimately you can. I will just finish one of the last diagram here by map, by salesperson, and I would like to see across different countries from here. Sorry, so I'm selecting this map and I'll just need to select country into the location. So okay, so you can see here is basically what you can do. And of course, I can spend, more, I can spend a few more minutes just to beautify the report. But ultimately, you can achieve a nice dashboard, as you can see on my screen here, with certain filter here that allows you to filter by company, filter by your business group, filter by country. And you can see different charts shows you different key metrics. So at any point of time, if you only want to see one company, which is US, you can select it. If you only want to see sales that you sold to Canada, you can select it. You can expand deeper, you can see. At a glance, you can see basically your current year are doing better than your prior year. Same thing, you can go further. You can see by product itself, where you can see your top 5 customers by profit, different key metrics to show you different information from here. Similarly, if you want it not just in Power BI, but for any audience here that you like it in prefer to see your dashboard in Excel or without a Power BI license, Jet is embedded inside Excel. If you join last week's sections, you will notice that I have explained previously that Jet has a ribbon embedded inside Excel, and this is one of the dashboard that you can see presenting the same value, same figure that you see in Power BI and in Excel, which using the sales cube. From here, you can also slice the information to see only a particular sales, to see only a group of salesperson if you want to, which is John, Linda, Mary, and Peter, and to see what will be the sales across different of them. Again, you can go further to see detail of the report and to see figure or analyze based on as they appear in the pivot tables to pull out by different salesperson, if you can see from here. Now, let me just go back to my PowerPoint again. So to move on again, these slides is what I flashed out previously, which is last week. So again, to stress, Jet Analytics is basically your reporting database that consolidate raw data and transform into meaningful data in the data warehouse. The back end here, which is the blue guy, we call it as Jet Data Manager, can be deployed on-prem or on Azure Cloud, pulling data needed from your ERP. This diagram lay out the ETL process. ETL means extract, transform, and load, where Jet extract data from any sources. It can be your ERP accounting system, CRM, POS system, or any other HR systems that you can think of. So we cleanse, aggregate the data to be loaded to the data warehouse. At this point of time, note that Jet can do incremental loading as historical data has been loaded and logged previously into the data warehouse. So this is the key also to significant performance improvement as compared to running Jet Report or Power BI live from ERP. Jet Analytics solve the challenges, especially when you want to consolidate data from multiple data sources. Typically, when you come into a scenario where you want to upgrade and you need to consolidate data from legacy and current system. Some of the Jet Reports user here, you might be wondering, can you do it in Jet Reports? Technically speaking, yes, but would I recommend? Absolutely not, because it is not the right product fit where the designer needs a lot of work before you can consolidate the data and also concern the complexity to join table from two databases. You need to replicate the process in each report. So in fact, what I'm going to do now is to show you the second sections of the demo, where I would like to show you some technical stuff here, where most BI will not show you during their demo. So what I would like to do now is to show a demo of how easy it is to actually consolidate data from multiple data sources. So just to keep it simple, allows me to just close what I've presented earlier. So I want to give a scenario here where I have built. So I have built certain, I have a raw data here and I have a sample dashboard here, as you can see on my screen. Now, this is the sales dashboard, which is pulling out from my sales cube as well. So I just want to show you everything the same, and it's a working dashboard that you can see data reflect and changes as well. What is missing here is 2020 data is not there. Same thing. I actually have that design in Power BI as well, where you can see data across 2016 to 2019 without 2020 data. All I want to do now is to pull the 2020 data from a second data source into my existing project. In this case, as you can see, my sales data has been extracted for demo purpose into an Excel file with a list of all the sales transactions for 2020 with the sales amount and my customer number, as you can see from here, along with all the product itself. Now, let me just minimize this and show you the back end of technical part on how easy it is to consolidate data from multiple sources. So this guy here, which is my Jet Data Manager. So Jet Data Manager consists of the cube, as you can see from here, as well as the table in my data warehouse that has been consolidated or aggregated. Now, if I go to the data sources itself, just wanted to show you that it connects to multiple data sources, including dynamic data source, Salesforce as data, any, I have not come across some things that have not connect yet, but as you can see from here, it really allows you to connect to any other data sources that you want into the Jet Analytics project. So once you have connected to it, just a scenario here, you can see this is my ERP system, which I name it as NAV. On the left-hand side here are the set of tables and fields that I pull out from my system. And on the right-hand side here is where it connects to your live ERP. As I mentioned, we have pre-built out of the box but it doesn't, all business are unique where you might need additional information at your end. In this case, at any point of time, the designer will be trained to actually merge and pull data that you want. Now, let me go back to show you the design level of pulling from another data source. In this case, I'm pulling from my Excel file as I showed you earlier. So I want to pull out the new sales data. Just give that a name. For demo purpose, I put it as new sales data. Browse to the file that I want, which is my sales data as I showed you earlier. And just click OK. So this time round, I have created the data source here. And I'll just need to read the object to make sure that Jet Analytics load what is inside my file or my database. If you expand here, you will see these are the actual things that you see in your file or ERP system. So now I will just need to pick the field that I want to see, which is my item, my posting date, sell to customer number, and my sales amount. So you see, as and when I add the information, I just need to check the field has been added into my staging database. So it's not the old days of writing script and coding. Now what I'll do is, this is the data warehouse. You are allowed to add new table if you need to, but this time around, I know that this is my sales data. Sales data will need to be consolidated into my sales transaction table. I just want to share with you, in an existing sales transaction table, we know that sales figures can be consolidated across multiple tables. So if you expand this mapping folder, you can see these are all the existing tables that I pull into a single table. Now I'm just going to do the same to pull my file from another source into the same table here. Jet has this tool called Smart Synchronization, which allows me to synchronize the data for me. As you can see from here, I have added information from my new data source here. Now, let me just deploy my project and see what Jet do in the background. So basically, the step here is where, recap what I did earlier. I created a new data source in my project, which is my new sales data. I go in to pull the selected field that I want to see for reporting purpose. I pull it and merge it into my existing posted sales transaction table, which is running now. So what it does here is, if I view log again, is you can see is that on the background, right? I just want to share with you that, Jet as a wizard, drag and drop looks very easy. All it does in the background here, in the back end, is really to write tons of queries for me, as you can see here. So what I'm trying to point out here is that no script and coding required, where you can just drag and drop to, really drag and drop to basically pull the additional information that you want into your existing project. Now what I'm doing is just to deploy and execute my sales queue, because I have information added to my sales transactions tables, right? So I'll just need to refresh my sales queue so that it will basically pull out the additional information that I want and present it into the set of dimensions that I have predefined in my pivot or in Excel. Very quickly, it deployed. So once it's running to pull out all the measurements so that it pre-calculate all my profit by percentage and etc. As you can see, it's done here. Now, if I go back to my dashboard here itself again, as you can see, there isn't any 2020 data. All I need now is just to go in and refresh my Excel file. As you can see here, the data basically shows me with 2020 figure. I can filter and see based on salesperson. I can release it. I can see based on all the information that I want to see from here. Same thing, if I were to jump to Power BI, just to refresh my Power BI dashboard again, you can see data are basically presented for me here. So now with that, these are some things that ultimately, if you look into a real BI solution itself, people will be hiding the back end of what they do, because the back end are basically all scripts and coding or that you won't understand. I just want to highlight to you is that Jet also sit in SQL, where if you are a person that you are allowed to write script, store procedure, view, and embed it into the project as you want. So really, I have a lot more to share, but for today's webinar, I hope I have give you an overview of how the positioning of Power BI, the preview ability that Jet integrates with Power BI, with the embed in Excel, and also to do a live demo of how easy it is for Jet to consolidate data across multiple sources and present it in a single dashboard. With that, I do aware that we have a lot of questions today. I would like to stop here and basically open up for audience to actually ask us a question as well.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the lovely presentation. Once again, really sorry everyone. Please my screen sharing my issues आएकोले यहाँहरुले केही कुराहरु मिस गर्नु भएको हुन सक्छ. Organizer को end मा technical issues आएकोले full time मा end हुन सकेन अघि. Again, really sorry for that. As Michelle mentioned, so if you have any questions or if you would like to discuss anything in detail, you can simply use the raise hand option in the right side of your panel, or you can also write your questions down in the chat option. Eh? So our speaker will be able to address you after you place your question.
Yeah, I think we have question asking what sort of ERPs that Jet can connect to. First question that we see here. So what kind of ERP connectors that Jet can connect to? So as I flash over the Jet Data Manager that I showed you earlier, Jet literally allows you to connect to a wide range of connectivity, where it connects to any, I would say it connects to almost any ODBC or OLE compliant database. It connects to Excel, it connects to CSV file, it connects to MySQL. So we have okay, so we have a question here. Jet Analytics same as SSAS of Microsoft. So why should we be preferring this? Good question here. Oftentimes, when we do SSAS, we tend to require to write script and coding. Where you can see Jet Analytics comes out of the box with some predefined thing, and it really serves the purpose to empower your business user, where you can, with rapid time to implement, you can start having your business user creating the dashboard that you want. On top of that, it also, Jet Analytics also is the tools that easily for you to combine and consolidate data across multiple data sources. You can, because it's run on an ETL way, you can also set up multiple execution package to refresh and provide you significant improvement in performance to update the report or dashboard that you want. So not only that, a lot of time we actually have trained designer like our finance audience, our sales team, our operations team in Excel to design the report that they want without heavily relying on the vendor or designers to produce all the report and dashboard that you want. Because oftentimes, when business change, we would like to add in new measurements, or would like to change a little bit or add one or two fields into our report to analyze our business. So that really empower business user to do that, because you can easily you can easily design it with minimum training. So the training of Jet reports itself is just 24 hours. The same thing, the training on Jet Analytics itself is also around 24 hours. So when we talk about training, oftentimes is that we tell users we do not need you to have programming or technical skill set, because there is no script or coding required in empowering yourself as a Jet designer. Sorry if I missed any, but Rajat, do you have any question that we will need to readdress in our first section?
Yeah. So did we cover everything written in the chat today? Because I cannot see the questions in the chat. Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So yeah, we do have a few questions from our first event that we carried forward to this one. So one of the people in the audience, they were interested in knowing, is Jet reports only for Navision ERP, or does it work with other ERPs and standalone? So Michelle, you want to take this?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, and in fact I presented earlier, where Jet connects to any other ERP data sources, not just Dynamic itself. So if you can see, we even have it connected to CData, where you can also connect to a lot of online stuff, where you can connect to Google Sheet, YouTube, Shopify, a lot of other data sources that you can combine as well. So not just Dynamic NAV. We have a lot of customers who used to be on other system, also use Jet Analytics as well. And I remember that Agile also have customers that are on other SQL database that uses Jet Analytics. So in short, it does not just connect to NAV.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up. And yeah, one of the questions that we got asked last time around was that rather than walk through of the products, if possible, we would like to have ideas on how the system works, architecture of the system. So I think we covered that in today's session a bit, right? So would you like to elaborate a bit on this?
Yes, I think we covered that on the infra here, as mentioned. Not too sure. I hope the same person are also attending today's sections. If you want, please feel free to unmute and ask in specific of your question if I did not address it. But just to recap again, in terms of infra, as you can see here, for Jet reports itself, Jet reports will connect directly to your ERP or CRM system. Okay, and then for Jet Analytics, it's very thin client. It connects directly. It embedded inside Excel. Close case. For Jet Analytics itself, it's really powerful when it comes with the data warehouse and cubes that I presented earlier. So this time around, these blue guys here in the middle, they are basically sit on the SQL analysis services and SQL server. So in terms of hardware, it can be hosted on your existing SQL server if you have enough room. It can be on a dedicated server. It can be on-prem. It can be over the cloud on your Azure private cloud if you need to. So that is a flexibility that we provide to customers. And if you want, you can deploy it on-prem today. 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, transition and move it to on cloud. You do not need to re-customize the whole thing. It will just need to back up and redeploy the project that you have developed easily. Yeah, hope I addressed your question.
That's pretty much it. I think if you have anyone in the audience who want to maybe not write it down or maybe talk through the mic, you can just use the raise hand option and we will be able to unmute you. please do that. Or if you have any questions, please write them down. हामी अब सेसनको एन्डतिरै आइसकेका छौँ है। सो केही क्वेसन्सहरू छ भने यहाँले राख्न सक्नुहुन्छ, नभए हामीले सेसन एन्ड गरेर र सेसनको टुवर्ड्स द एन्ड देयर इज अ सर्वे फर्म द्याट यु विल फाइन्ड। त्यो सर्वे चाहिँ प्लिज कम्प्लिट गरिदिनु होला। जस्ट अ फ्यु क्विक क्वेसन्स तपाईँहरूको 2-5 मिनट्स बढी लाग्ला। त्यो क्वेसन्सहरू एन्सर गरिदिनु भयो भने हामीलाई यहाँको रिक्वायरमेन्ट्सहरू बुझ्न धेरै हेल्प हुने थियो।
And once again, apologize for the inconvenience on the post question screen earlier.
Yeah, to add a bit on that. So यदि आज कसैले भनौँ न अलिकति पर्सनलाइज खालको डेमो चाहनुहुन्छ अथवा if you need a bit more elaboration on a few concepts or the solution in general, so you can always reach out to us via our email or website or social media, and we'll be able to set you up with our team of BI experts. Solutions go not just demo, but overall implementation process. के कस्तो हुन्छ यहाँको organizationमा एउटा specific business specific requirements or के कस्तो छ त्यसलाई scope गरेर चाहिँ we will be able to propose you with a powerful, with a robust solution that you are looking for. So त्यो पनि हामीले next option को रूपमा राख्न सकिन्छ। As always, we will be bringing you more events related to BI, related to ERP, related to CRM. And if we don't have any more questions, Michelle, are there any questions or hands raised in the chat?
Is there? Yes, we do. Thank you. Is there any role data limit or not? Good question. So depending on where you are referring to, of course, loading the data into the data warehouse, there is no limitation where, you know, it basically depends on your hardware size of how much you can fit the data or you can store the data. Ultimately, from the front end level, as you can see here, so JET is embedded inside Microsoft technology. Just a scenario, if you are referring to data limitation or row limitation in Excel, the answer is JET also follow the row or data limitation that you have in Excel. But oftentimes, to be very honest with you, this is one of the questions that many people ask me during pre-sales, typically when you don't have JET. The reason I say that is because in the manual way, what you do is that you go to your SQL database, you extract all the data from day one to end of today into Excel, and then you filter the data to present it into your report. But from JET point of view, it's different. We integrate into the data warehouse where data are all aggregate and loaded in the data warehouse. So from Excel point of view, you will only start building report or storing data based on report that you want to see, which could be grouped by category, customer, salesperson, year to date, month to month, and etc. Because Excel will not be storing all your raw transactions data. Hope I answer your question. And as mentioned by Rajat, if you want, you also can raise your hand or unmute yourself, and then we're happy to speak to you as well. Yeah, I think that was the last question we have.
Yeah, I guess so too. So if we are ready to wrap up, once again, on the way out, a survey pop-up on us, your event end by your surveys fill out will help us improve our next events and bring more solutions, more events, such events to you. I think we can wrap up for today if we don't have any more questions.
Okay, once again, thank you. Thank you for joining. Take care, stay safe, and have a nice day.
Thank you for your time. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for your questions. And if you have any more queries, you can always reach out to us. The details are mentioned in the slide that you see on the screen. So once again, thanking you for your time. Have a good one. Bye-bye. See you.